Hello everyone, it is I, Mark S.W. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, on my channel I like to do videos that are a tribute to things that are important to me, usually during their anniversaries. And this year, 2025, it's been full of anniversaries. We've had Railway 200, the 80th anniversary of the Railway series, 60th anniversary of Thunderbirds, 20th anniversary of YouTube. It's quite a list. But there's one anniversary tribute that I want to do. It's a bit of a personal one. This tribute is for my grandparents, Veronica and Frederick Simpson, Fred for short. This year they would have been 100 years old. Now, normally I don't do videos about my family because I'm not at liberty to, or it's private. But this is an exception. Before I begin this tribute, do give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you're new to my channel. And if you'd like a shout out in my videos, or access to upcoming videos, then hit the join member button. I hope you guys will enjoy this tribute, and if any members of my family are watching this video, I apologise in advance if I've gotten any of the facts wrong. I did do my homework, so hopefully I've got them all right. Here we go. Both my grandparents were born in Warrington in 1925. My granddad, Fred, on the 9th of October, and my grandma, Veronica, on the 25th of December, aka Christmas Day. Unfortunately, when Veronica was just a few days old, her mother died from burn damage that she received after a fire. But she still had her father, who was a tram driver, and her 5 older sisters, but her father couldn't support all 6 daughters. You have to remember that in those days they didn't have the NHS or universal credits, so there was only one thing to do. It was decided that Veronica would go and live with her Aunt Amelia in Scotland until she was old enough to go to school. But her father and sisters still visited her during holidays. When Veronica was 5 years old, she moved back to Warrington, taking with her a Scottish accent, and her Aunt Amelia moved to the Isle of Man. As for Fred, he left school when he was 14, after the Second World War began. He worked as a tannery. That's when you turn animal skins into leather. It can be a very dangerous place to work in, but he would give the money to his mum and dad to maintain the home and help look after his 6 brothers and sisters. So, from what I've just told you, you can tell that my grandparents came from very big families. By the time Veronica was 13, her dad died, but she still lived with her sisters, and she was able to stay on at school until she was 16. She passed her exams and got a job in a tax office. About halfway during the Second World War, Fred was called up to join the Navy. He and his fellow sailors would do some of their training on the Isle of Man. They would be running down hills, holding their rifles up in the air. He also learnt Morse code, which started his interest in radio and electronics. Veronica was visiting her Aunt Amelia at the time, and that's how the two of them met. During his naval service, Fred went to places far away like India, but he and Veronica would still write to each other and keep in touch. He was discharged in 1947 and moved back to Warrington. The following year later, the two of them got married on the 27th of November. As the years passed, they had 6 children. One of them was my mum. As for their work life, Veronica worked as a tax inspector, but Fred had a more interesting work life. He worked as a radio technician and engineer for aeroplanes. After work, he went to college in the evenings and took many exams. By the time he was 32, he was a qualified electrical engineer. After 25 years of working, Fred received a special long service award, and in the 1980s, Margaret Thatcher visited him at work. Now, Fred and Veronica didn't stay in Warrington all the time. They stayed for about 5 years and then they moved to Woodstock Avenue in Cheadlehume. After that, they moved to Bradford, first in Ashbourne Way, and then Thurley Road. But they were very proud of the houses and gardens they had. They were very good at making and fixing things, and they did their own DIY work and gardening. They also did voluntary work for charities and helped out at churches. As the years passed, they had 12 grandchildren, including myself and my big brother, and now there are 11 great-grandchildren. By the time my brother and I were born, Fred and Veronica had already retired, and they moved back to Warrington and lived in one of the newly constructed bungalows. Now that they were retired, they had more time for their own hobbies. Veronica was into music and researching the family history, while Fred was into mountain walks and painting. Over the years, they've had many adventures and memorable family gatherings during holidays, Christmases, and their wedding anniversaries. By 2015, before they turned 90, it was time for them to move out of their bungalow and into a retirement home. Some people call it a care home, some people call it an old people's home. I don't know what the correct answer is. This was not easy to do because on the one hand, we didn't want them to end up in one of those boring care homes where you're just sitting around doing nothing. And on the other hand, we didn't want them to be separated just because they had different needs. We wanted them both to be in the same home. Fortunately, we managed to find a place in Warrington called Belong. Excellent accommodation, lots of different activities for the tenants to do, and the staff were very friendly and helpful. We could even rent rooms for special occasions. So, as I said, because 2015 was their 90th birthday, we arranged a family gathering. We couldn't do it during Christmas because that would have been too difficult, but we were able to do it for Fred's birthday. This was the last large family gathering we had with both grandparents alive, along with some of their sisters, nieces and nephews. Of course, after this we had other family gatherings, but only small ones. Sometime later, Fred passed away on 13th of March 2018. Amusingly, he died after Ken Dodd and before Stephen Hawking. Imagine the conversation those three would have when they got together. Veronica managed to cope with the loss. She had further adventures and gatherings with the family. Every time I saw her, she would say that I need to stop growing. In the end, she passed away on the 12th of May 2020, just 1 week after my 30th birthday. This was during the quarantine, so we couldn't visit her, but we were able to say goodbye to her on Zoom. So they were both reunited, and the family had a plaque made for them. It's at one of the churches that they both went to regularly in Warrington. And that's the life story of Fred and Veronica Simpson. The family and I, we do miss them, but we've had some great times and lots of great memories as well. If you had to ask me what my most memorable memories of my grandparents would be, with my grandma, before she went to bed, she would always lay the table ready for breakfast in the morning. So you could say I learnt my table laying skills from her. As for my granddad, when I was young, every time I sat in his favourite chair, he would go, "That's my chair," and would tickle me off it. But we also played lots of fun games like paper aeroplanes and racing cars down old pipes, and we even played the pause button challenge, and that was way before YouTube existed. So, Grandma and Grandad, thank you for all these amazing memories and the fun times we've had, and happy 100th birthday to you both. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tribute. If you have, then do please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you know when I next upload a video. And if you'd like a shout out or behind the scene photos or upcoming video sneak peeks, do hit the join membership button. Thank you guys very much for watching this tribute, and I'll see you next time. Over and out.